Hi, my name is Amanda Klotzbach. I am 31 years old. I decided to go ahead and make a video as opposed to writing a lengthy story because my story is a little lengthy. So I will just jump right in. I lost most of my 20s to illness. When I was 20, I found out that I had some problems, 3 different issues with my heart. Over the course of 2 years, they did 5 different procedures. During that time, I just got sicker and sicker. They were trying to avoid giving me a pacemaker because I was so young. The last procedure before, because I did end up getting the pacemaker, the last procedure before the pacemaker really made me very sick. And it slowed my heart rate down so much that I couldn't function. I literally slept 18 hours a day, and I was practically in a coma. And while my friends were graduating college and starting out their lives and getting their feet indoors and paying their dues, I was trying not to die. But when I was 22, I got the pacemaker, and it was like a miracle. Everything turned around just like that. No problems. I was back to my old self, and I got on top of things right away. During the time I was sick, I wasn't working. I had a good chunk of money saved up, so I was able to live off of that. When I got back to work, I was very broke, so I just busted my butt to get, to work as much as I could, to stay on top of my bills, get my medical bills paid off, all that fun stuff. And finally, I was in a position to do the one thing that I have always wanted to do, which is leave St. Louis. Since I was a little kid, I have wanted to live somewhere else. And I was well on my way. I had saved up quite a bit of money, and then I got sick again. When I was 25, I started getting sick with dizzy spells and fatigue and weakness and things like that, and that just continued to get worse. Over the next 4 years, I ended up bedridden again. I didn't have health care through my job. I was a server, and they don't provide health care. And so I couldn't really figure out what was going on because I couldn't see a doctor. It took me 2 years to get Medicaid because it's very difficult to get in the state of Missouri. And after 2 years of getting sicker, I was finally able to see some doctors. And I saw a lot of doctors. I was seeing a doctor every week, some different specialists for this, that, and the other thing. And finally, after another 2 years of trying to figure out what was going on, I was diagnosed with lupus. I started getting treatment, and it, again, was like a miracle. I started getting better within a few weeks. And within a few months, I was pretty much back to my old self. Unfortunately, I will probably never be completely okay. I do have to deal with a good amount of pain and weakness and fatigues and infections and so on and so forth, because that is just part of life with lupus. But that's okay. I deal. And, when I moved out of my parents' house when I was 16, and I never thought that I would end up back there. And 10 years later, I had nowhere else to go. They did not have the room or the money to take me in, but they did. And I just spent years being totally non-functional, not able to function. And I was finally getting back on my feet. I'm a very independent person. I do not like living off of other people. I definitely prefer to pay my own way and be on my own. And I was finally back in a place where I was going to start working again and get out of here and be done with all this madness and really start living. And that is not what happened. About 6 months after I started getting treatment, I got the flu. The flu quickly turned into pneumonia, which turned into sepsis. And I spent 2 weeks in intensive care. And when I came out of intensive care, I was in a wheelchair with an oxygen tank. And I had another bout of just trying not to die. Pretty much my entire 20s was spent just trying not to die. But I got out of there. Unfortunately, Medicaid doesn't cover physical therapy, so I had no help getting out of the wheelchair. That was completely on me. And through sheer willpower and determination and the internet, I was able to get myself out. And I went straight from being in the wheelchair to being the primary caretaker for my grandmother as she was going through hospice. And she did spend a good deal of my life raising me. But I was on my feet, and I was determined to do good for her like she had done for me. And it did take 8 months before I got better. During that time that I was taking care of her, that was sheer willpower getting me through. But I just kept getting infections and getting sick, and I would end up back in bed, and my whole immune system was compromised from the pneumonia. It took 3 months just for the pneumonia to clear up, but my body just couldn't handle anything else, and I'm already very prone to infection because of the lupus. So I fought and fought to get on my feet, to get out of here, and I mean, more than anything, to get out of my parents' house, but just to be on my own and to get out of Missouri. And I had to leave. It wasn't an option, because once I started working, I would lose my Medicaid, and I wouldn't yet have enough money to pay for insurance. And by the time I did, I would be too sick to work, and it would be a vicious circle of that, being on Medicaid again until I got better enough to work, and then losing it and getting sick again. So fortunately, I have some uncles in Minnesota who are amazing, and they let me come and stay with them for 6 months while I got on my feet and got some money together so that I could go to California, which is my overall destination. And I worked very, very hard in Minnesota, and I saved up the money, and I was well on my way, getting ready to go to to California, and I got sick about 2 weeks before I left, and that did start to pass, but then I started not being able to eat and getting sick when I ate, and I stopped in St. Louis on my way to California to visit family, also because the day before I left Minnesota, my car died, and I got it fixed enough to get it to St. Louis because my stepdad, works on cars, and was able to get it fixed for me. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. A guy that he worked with took my car and was supposed to fix it. When I was going to California, I had an amazing job lined up that I was hired for. They knew everything that was going on. They were being very cool about it taking a little longer because of the car situation and so on. But this guy took my car and wouldn't give it back. And he had it for 7 months. Now, I had money to get to California and to get me by for a little while before I was getting paychecks and making really good money. $100,000 to $250,000 a year, plus full benefits, vacation, sick leave, all that fun stuff. And of course, they were not cool enough to keep the job for 7 months, so I lost this amazing opportunity and the place I was going to live. And for the, 4th, 5th time, 6th time, I was on my way to living my life and back on my feet, and everything was heading in the right direction, and I was just getting to one place that I want to go. And it all just kind of came crashing down. I also remained sick while I was in Missouri, and I don't have insurance in Missouri, and Missouri is very it's not a good place to be if you have an illness, and it's part of the reason that I can't live here. I'm stuck here now. I was going to have to take this man to court to get my car back, and I did get it back in pieces. He chopped up everything under the hood, And now I have to get all of that fixed. But 7 months later, all my money for California is gone. Or to get my car fixed, or just anything. And I worked very, very, very hard to prevent the situation that I'm in right now, which is being stuck in Missouri, sick, with no health care, not being able to work. And that's where I am right now. I ended up having to get emergency surgery since I've been here, along with many trips to the ER, because it is the only place that I can get treatment. It's 3 months just to get into the clinic. And that's why I am here and making this video and on GoFundMe. Because I am trying to get help to get out of this situation. I have to leave Missouri, at the very least. I have to live in a state where I can get medical attention so that I can be a functioning member of society. And that's just not an option here. I can either be disabled on Medicaid, or I can try and work while I'm sick. And the problem is I'm too sick to work. I can't keep on top of the lupus because I can't get a prescription because I can't see a doctor. And I have to have constant maintenance of my health. It is a necessity for me to live. And I don't want to be in another situation where I'm fighting just to survive. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, I am here because I am asking for your help to get me out of this situation. I am trying to get to California. Hopefully get another job as amazing as the one that I was going to have. But I also want to take comedy classes at a very prominent comedy place there that could get me some really good connections in the comedy world, which is one of the things I'm trying to get into. And that would give me an opportunity to do so. Also, I would be in a place where I could get medical attention and consistent health care so that I can function. Right now, I'm racking up bills, and I know there are a lot of people that are on here asking for help with their medical bills. I'm asking for help to get on my feet so I can pay my medical bills myself. And I just have to get out of here for my health and my sanity. There are many reasons that this is not where I want to be. And I want to foster children, and all I want is to live. And there's a difference between living and trying not to die. And I have spent so much of my life, a third of my life, just trying not to die. And I want to live. I mean, for me, I am middle-aged, and I know that most people don't think that 31 is middle-aged. However, when you have the amount of health problems that I do, you don't live to be an old age, and I know that, and I've accepted that, and that's fine, but I want to make the best of the time that I do have. And this is terribly embarrassing. So that's why I am asking for help. I want to live. I want to participate in the world, and I need a lot of help to do that. So, anyone seeing this, if you could help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm not really fond of asking random strangers on the internet for money, but I'm glad that a site like this exists so that I don't know what else to do. So thank you for your time.